Welcome back. Now, the American President Donald Trump has told the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu that talks with Iran must continue. The White House meeting was held behind closed doors, with Netanyahu slipping in via a side entrance without, interestingly, receiving the traditional guard of honor. Now, Trump and Netanyahu were seen shaking hands in a photograph that was released by the Israeli Premier's office later. And after their 3-hour-long meeting, Trump wrote on Truth Social that there was nothing definitive that was reached other than his insistence that negotiations must continue to see whether or not a deal can be consummated. Seeking to push for the Islamic Republic's ballistic missile program to be included in any deal, Netanyahu had rushed to Washington for his 6th meet with Trump since the U.S. leader returned to power. Now, Netanyahu's office has said that during the talks with Trump, the Israeli Prime Minister had insisted on security needs of Israel in relation with the negotiations on Iran. Now, Trump had hinted at U.S. military action against Iran following Tehran's deadly crackdown on the protesters, but at the same time, Washington and Tehran restarted talks last week with a meeting in Oman. The American Vice President J.D. Vance said on Wednesday that there is another option on the table if Washington fails to reach a deal with Tehran to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Well, look, I mean, if the Iranian people want to overthrow the regime, that's up to the Iranian people. What we're focused on right now is the fact that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That's been the focus of the president's policy, even going back to the first administration.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with President Trump for more than 2 hours on Wednesday. Trump said he insisted to Netanyahu that negotiations with Iran continue, and he wrote on Truth Social that he hopes Iran will be more, quote, reasonable and responsible. Netanyahu made the last-minute trip to Washington to urge Trump to expand the scope of negotiations to include major Israeli concerns such as Iran's ballistic missile program and its support for militant groups such as Hezbollah and Hamas. Earlier this morning, Netanyahu met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio to sign an official document about his participation in the Board of Peace. It is unclear whether Netanyahu will return next week for the first meeting of the Board of Peace.